Michael Saylor's argument is pretty straightforward. He's an executive chairman who has had 10-digit net worth and believes that the right time horizon is forever for holding Bitcoin. So, what's up with other cryptocurrencies? Is there any other coin that shares this remarkable attribute with the leading cryptocurrency by market capitalization? MicroStrategy may technically be referred to as an enterprise software company, though the founder and chief executive officer are increasingly focused on Bitcoin. Over the past 2 years, the tantamount effect of this focus is that the company has taken nearly $4 billion and purchased more than 129,000 Bitcoins. But MicroStrategy is not buying Bitcoin with money it just had lying around. The company borrowed most of it. One of its loans is at risk because the price of Bitcoin has plunged to severe levels. However, this does not look like the biggest concern for the company. The great investor Warren Buffett once said something that all MicroStrategy shareholders should take to heart. The market is generally worried about possible margin calls for MicroStrategy. Now, here's the context of this fear. On March 29, 2022, the company announced that it secured a $205 million loan from Silvergate Capital to buy Bitcoin. Plus, it collateralized this loan with Bitcoin as well. And when there was a conference call to discuss the financial implications of this decision for the first quarter of 2022, it was noted that if the price of Bitcoin fell to lows, the company will receive a margin call. Of course, this statement made headlines. MicroStrategy only used a small portion of its Bitcoin holdings to collateralize its loan. In an interview, Saylor once noted, "The only use of time is how do I buy more Bitcoin?" However, investors are asking a completely different question. What does MicroStrategy plan to do with Bitcoin? Michael Saylor has bought as much Bitcoin as possible for billions of dollars. Warren Buffett won't even buy Bitcoin for $25. At a shareholders meeting, Buffett said, "I wouldn't take it because what would I do with it? I'd have to sell it back to you one way or another." There are some pretty cool things to do with cryptocurrencies as the Web3 space is littered with innovation. But Warren Buffett has no intention to use Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency for innovative purposes. If MicroStrategy is simply trying to protect its purchasing power, then what does it intend to do with the huge amount of money it has dumped into Bitcoin so far? Most of the cryptocurrency market had a rough 2022, shedding more than 50% of its value. The Fed did not help matters as well. Its plan to aggressively hike interest rates to slow inflation has resulted in a risk-off approach from investors. Nonetheless, Michael Saylor remains a very powerful and influential business leader who believes in the long-term success of Bitcoin, even when it is seen as a no-brainer. Well, the company eventually met with its woes in December 2022. Although the company's December losses were not directly tied to Bitcoin's pricing, the stock price moves were tightly correlated to the plunging value of the FTX token and Solana, two altcoins at the heart of the FT crypto exchange financial meltdown. Simply put, MicroStrategy investors were and are still deeply bothered about the fallout from the FTX saga hurting other parts of the crypto sector. The company was never a player in the FTX fiasco, as Saylor just firmly believes that only Bitcoin is worth holding. He could end up looking like a genius if and when Bitcoin's price skyrockets again. But many investors are not too impressed by his cryptocurrency strategy right now, especially the part where he refers to other cryptocurrencies as securities. Last year, the CEO of IOG and the founder of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, reacted to Saylor's outrageous opinion on the security status of Cardano ADA. Saylor had unsurprisingly classified Bitcoin as a commodity and bluntly called ADA a security. In an interview with Altcoin Daily, Saylor said, "To be a commodity network, there has to be no issuer, no initial coin offering, no central organization, and if you study the history of Cardano, it's pretty obvious it's a security. It checks all the boxes. So I don't know how you actually get around intellectually to convincing yourself that it's anything other than a security." In an AMA session, Hoskinson addressed this claim, emphasizing that Cardano is not only more decentralized than Bitcoin, but it also has more real-world use cases than the flagship digital currency. He pointed out that the major use case of Bitcoin is speculation, and the situation got quite messy, especially when Hoskinson used uncouth words to refer to the Bitcoin maximalists. As a matter of fact, he said, "Nobody controls ADA. It's completely decentralized, far more than Bitcoin. It has more use and utility. People buy the token not to speculate, which is the only thing that they can do with Bitcoin. They buy the token to use it for stuff, medical records, and whatever else they're doing because it has a real-life utility. So that's a security, but the crypto that the only thing you can do with is speculate is not?" Hoskinson also added that Michael Saylor was digging deep and fully digged in with Bitcoin, and it has to work, because if it doesn't, the Cardano founder believes that he might go bankrupt. In an attempt to further clear the air about the possibility of ADA being considered a security, Charles Hoskinson noted that the SEC may decide to attack any crypto asset at their will. The Cardano founder said in another YouTube AMA session, "This is the problem with regulation through enforcement. As any given Sunday is whoever the regulators decide to pick, there's a big fight." He also stressed that ADA does not come close to being a security. However, he did not hesitate to highlight the possible outcomes that will follow if the SEC does choose to consider ADA as a security. According to him, there is nothing in the history of Cardano that feels security-like, from the beginning to where it is at today, to the fact that the network is fully decentralized and so forth. He further added that if ADA were to be seen as a security by the SEC, then the same narrative could apply to other top cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and Bitcoin. But going forward, he noted that the United States regulatory agency does not get to say that Cardano lives or dies, adding that only the ADA community has such power. In reaction to the crypto lawsuit involving Ripple and the SEC, Hoskinson said, "I've heard rumors that the Ripple case will be settled by December 15th. Let's just see. That could have a catastrophic implication for the industry one way or the other, but you just keep moving forward." It is also worth mentioning that the Cardano founder has always had issue with Bitcoin maximalists. According to his response to Michael Saylor, he believes they are a bunch of toxic and useless people. His reactions have always been direct, and he does not miss the chance to fire back. A similar scenario was painted when the Vassal hard fork was encountering delays. In response to a critic, he remarked that he could not force the Vassal hard fork. In a tweet, Cardano's Charles Hoskinson explained that he was not capable of forcing the Vassal hard fork, highlighting the blockchain's decentralization. A Bitcoin maximalist identified as @BTC_Brian_21 stated that Hoskinson could change the total supply of ADA tokens on a whim due to its alleged centralization. Quote, "Hoskinson can change that 45 million tomorrow. Ethereum was burning coins earlier this year. Who decides that?" Cardano's maximum supply is capped at 45 million ADA tokens, but the critic alleged that nothing could stop the Cardano founder from changing that, asserting that the blockchain's monetary policy is very flexible. However, Hoskinson specifically turned down such an idea, adding that Bitcoin maximalists are beyond stupid. "Bitcoin maximalists are beyond stupid, and I can't even force a Vassal hard fork and everyone wants it," Hoskinson tweeted. In addition, the Cardano founder has made a couple of statements about Bitcoin maximalists, as they are always looking for different opportunities to take a swipe at Cardano ADA. Unfortunately, in our industry, there is a great degree of maximalism. If you go and talk to a Bitcoin person, they're like, "Bitcoin is the only truth, and everything else is a crap coin," he once said. In regards to Cardano ADA, Hoskinson's clamor for its imminent rise has been strongly felt. He mentioned that as institutional investors realize that they need to move down the line and go with proof-of-stake systems, Cardano will become an attractive option. "So we think we should get the lion's share of those allocations," he said. According to him, this advantage is Cardano's edge over its competitors. The MicroStrategy CEO is not going to stop his Bitcoin accumulation anytime soon, given his top-notch resilience and devotion despite the cascading losses the company has suffered. Cardano's Hoskinson is unrelenting as well. The network's success is highly dependent on his amazing strategies and the slew of impressive updates scheduled to come on board. Indeed, the end will justify the means. But of course, what are your thoughts on this? Let's have them in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next video, but before then, check out our other videos to find out how Cardano is living up to the dream of being the Ethereum killer. And as always, make sure you subscribe and click the notification buttons.